Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me and at mholder95 for Matt. And of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. And also, check out the links through Homage for the jacket and the Tecmo Super Bowl Bo Jackson shirt. Let's go ahead and support the channel with that. The link should be in the bio. I guess I could put my
QR codes up.
And get the QR codes up.
Yeah. Check out their whole line too. They got a bunch of cool Raider stuff too, not just the jackets. They got, as long as you follow that QR code or the link, we'll be good to go. They got a bunch of cool stuff though over at Homage.
Yeah, go so ahead, check that out. If you like, if you're like your dad's a different team fan or he's a fan of a different team, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, support him that way too. It's his birthday. You got your dad's birthday coming up.
That works. I take it your dad's birthday's coming up?
No. I was just saying.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. But today we're doing a little Chargers film preview. So we're gonna be checking out what the Chargers look like on offense and defense. And I'll give us our thoughts on that. So I guess we just start talking about that. I mean, got some other news. There's Brock Bowers and JPJ. I guess JPJ went down with a concussion, but which probably means he's out too. So Brock Bowers is interesting. I want to see what happens today. We're recording this on Saturday, so we'll see what happens with the injury report. But I have a feeling he's going to play or he's going to try to go. He might get listed as questionable. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what he does, and then but yeah, JPJ, if he has a concussion, he's out.
Yeah, unless it's like the cautious one, because like I did see he was out at practice like the next day, which usually if you have a concussion, like you're like almost isolated, like you're like sick almost, and like just hanging out in a dark room. So maybe it's a little bit of a good sign that they're not like, or that he's like at least out at practice and stuff like that. But usually with the head injuries, you're looking at least a week, and he injured it. I think he did it in practice, right? He did it on like, I think Thursday, whatever the first day they practiced this week with the Monday Night Football schedule was, because he was fine after the game. And then Bowers, I feel like you're right. Like it's like, I feel like he's at least going to give it a go if he can. Like, but how healthy he is now, if he's his normal self is obviously a big factor in that too. And I don't know if that we're going to get the 100% Bowers at this stage. Yeah,
and they might sit him out just because it's early in the season.
Yeah,
and they're gonna need him later on. So I mean, that'd probably be the smart thing to do. But he doesn't. With that type of hairline, I don't think he's doesn't want to play football. Let's keep it real, all right?
Yeah.
With those balls,
that type of hairline though, you got to worry about the knees. He's got the hairline of a 50-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. Yeah, that's not that's the type of hair at that age is not a type of guy who sits out football games. So that's why I think he might try to give it a go. It's all about how effective he'll be. You know what I mean? But other than that, really nothing too crazy going on. So let's talk about the Chargers.
Yeah.
We have Chargers here. They beat the Chiefs. So there's a lot of hype with the Chargers coming in this game. I mean, I forgot how much of an underdog the Raiders are, but I'm pretty sure it's probably a touchdown.
I think it's just 3 points if I saw it correctly.
Is it really?
It was just a 3-point spread. Yeah. So
interesting. No.
We'll see. I could be wrong on that. I'll check right now.
Yeah, you might be right. Because when I did that article the other day, I was thinking it might be that. But they are underdogs again. But
it's 3.
Yeah, and they're at home too, so like you get an automatic 3. So yeah, they're
6, I guess. Yeah, if you want to look that way. Yeah, there you go. That's how we get to the touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. So So with the Chargers, watching them on offense, because I did the offense, it's not really that much different than what you expect from Greg Roman. Even the game plan that I'm thinking, it's like you kind of do the same thing as get them in 3rd and long. It's kind of when we did the preview and we did it during the summer. I feel like it's the same concept. But I think the Chiefs, when you watch them play the Chiefs, I really felt like the Chiefs, I don't know what they did in Brazil. I don't know what they did that night before, but they just looked off. They just looked like they were just doing things that they just usually don't do. They're like running into each other, like leaving guys wide open. It was weird to watch. So, but because like I said, I mean, Greg Roman's not too much different. You're gonna see a lot of power football. They're gonna throw those passes to McConkey and keep that to Keenan Allen who can't separate like he used to, but in the slot he's still effective. He's gonna find the spots and he's gonna
Yeah.
be some yak sometimes, and him and Herbert, they have a connection, right? Just like this kind of the same connection he has with McConkey. Those two guys are dangerous, and then I think Tyler Conklin's an underrated tight end. And I think that kind of what changed the offense a little bit too, because I think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman they need tight ends, right, to be great in that offense. To be honest,
Yeah.
I think Conklin kind of changes it up, and then Herbert, he like I was saying before the show, it's like Jim Harbaugh went up to him and like unplugged him. So you're getting a free like thinking Justin Herbert. Like usually
Yeah.
he's like a coach's guy, right? Usually what the coach does, like, when you run Joe Lombardi's offense, it was like all Lombardi. He had a bad senior year because he had a terrible offensive coordinator trying to run that offense. And that kind of, people were knocking him coming out of the draft. But like a couple years before that, he had a good offensive coordinator. He looked great. You know what I mean? It's kind of based off that. But now it's like Jim Harbaugh's told him, like, who cares who your coordinator is? You're Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Like he's just
Yeah.
hyping him up.
It's like
Eating Madison beer. Maybe that's giving a little hype there. He's trying to show off to his girl, but like he just looks different from that perspective, and I feel like he's just playing loose. I guess I
yeah.
would say, and it's a little, it was a little terrifying. I got mad a couple times. I had to stop watching it. We do it this morning, so
It's like what everyone fears about with like the AI and the robots when they start
it's like Westworld,
veering
bro.
away. They start getting their own personality. Like that's Justin Herbert. We're worried about it now. Now that he's like thinking for himself and having thoughts or whatnot. He's unlocked.
Yeah, it was like watching Westworld, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
All right, I see how this is going to go. So you got to worry about him because I mean, that's why I think you got to blitz him and just live with it. Because even then, like you want to try to make him get rid of the ball quick. Because if the offensive line's pretty good, so if he has that time, he's gonna start running.
Yeah,
and then like you get to like make sure that he's not gonna run. So I don't know. It just adds a different element to it. So yeah, it's we'll see how that goes. But I just think the scheme of the offense is not that much different. So you kind of got to have the same game plan. And like Herbert was Superman last week. You got to force him to be Superman like every week.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting too because like I remember I was asking earlier in the week one of the Chargers writers from SB Nation about it because I mean Herbert dropped back to pass 41 times in the season opener, and how often do we see that from a Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh coach team when they're playing from a lead from literally the first possession they had on the game. And he actually said that he think that philosophy is going to stick where they're actually going to shift more towards the pass. And a big part of it was Rashawn Slater's injury because I think Joe Alt's amazing in pass pro. He was really good in pass pro as a rookie and stuff like that. And he's did a fine job in week one in that space, but he's not really that great of a run blocker.
Yeah.
And then on the right side, like now you're dealing with your backup right tackle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we still continue to see them kind of air it out a little bit more. And like you said, especially if they're unplugging Justin Herbert, literally, then I can see that going in, like them finding ways to run the ball that way. But so it's an interesting. It's not quite. I don't think it's quite the philosophy you'd expect from Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman led teams of the past. But the difference is they have a pretty damn good quarterback who, if he's playing unleashed, then could be a different story. So
yeah, it's a big part of it, and just having the guys that he likes around him too. And I think the play action game is pretty damn good. So, but what do you think about the defense?
Yeah, so defensively, it's funny. They have a few guys like Derwin James is still pretty damn good. Tareem Still is a guy their nickel that I think is a pretty damn good player. Who, especially if Bowers is out, and they're going to put Still on Jacoby in the slot a little bit more. That kind of worries me a little bit in the passing game. But I think you could, if you don't have Bowers in, I think you can move him a little bit, and you can put Jacoby more on the outside because they are pretty young on the boundary at cornerback. Like I think Cam Hart and I forget who their second, Dane Jackson. Sorry, so they're not young at Dane Jackson's spot, but I mean at this stage Jackson's more kind of like just average at this stage in his career, and Hart's still learning. So I think you can attack him on the perimeter a little bit in the passing game, and then at linebacker Perryman's going to be out for him. Diane Henley's the guy that I'm going to be diving into today. I think he's like a pretty good up and coming linebacker in the league. But at the same time, like he's still kind of learning and learning on the fly. I'll show you a few of his flaws that I saw when he was coming out of Washington State that
Yeah,
have kind of stayed in the NFL. But he's a pretty damn good player, really good athlete, former wide receiver who was playing
yeah,
linebacker. So just to paint the picture a little bit for you. But he's going to be their linebacker one. He's going to be wearing the green dot, I believe, for this game since Perryman's going to be out. And they're going to be relying on Troy Dye, I believe, at the other linebacker spot. So I think it's another position that doesn't really scare me that much. Defensive tackle, I thought they'd be a little bit more aggressive getting a defensive tackle in the draft just because I thought that was one of their weaknesses going into this year. And they ended up taking one until Caldwell in the third round. I think they wanted to get Kenneth Grant, and the Dolphins just took them in front of him.
yeah,
And at edge, like I like Thule. I think he's still a pretty damn good player for them, and I think he's an ascending player. But Khalil Mack's just not quite what he used to be. I mean, you can still be a game wrecker, and for this game he's going to be have a little extra motivation and whatnot. But there's just a few plays, like if you guys remember watching last week against the Chiefs, for like Mahomes kind of turned the corner on him and ended up scoring the touchdown. It was like, man, vintage Khalil Mack makes that play. You
yeah.
can tell like he's getting into his mid-30s. He's at the end of his career and not quite what he used to be. So I think defensively, kind of where I'm going out there in a long-winded way is like they're beatable. They have a few guys in a few spots, like I mentioned, but for the most part, like they're down, they're a little beat up without having Perryman in there. And then the defensive tackle spot's a spot where I think the Raiders might be able to take advantage and maybe kind of get right a little bit better with the running game and stuff, whatnot. Big part of that's going to be JPJ playing or not though too. So yeah, I think it's a vulnerable defense, but it is one that can be kind of good enough when they need to be to win a game. So
Yeah, yeah. I think they have good defensive coaching. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're coached up really
yes,
well. You can tell on offense they're coached up really well too. It's just it's just not the greatest scheme in the world, but I think defensively, I mean, they're going to be ready for what the Raiders are going to be able to do. But I think the Raiders will be able to move the football on these guys, though. I
yeah,
think the Raiders are good enough on offense where they can move the football even without having Brock Bowers. Because this might be Michael Mayer's shot, man. I mean,
yeah. There you go.
it might be
The
Mayer's
Michael
season.
Mayer game.
Michael Mayer game. I mean, because
He had
he's a good tight end, so you know what I mean. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he had a good week last week. He didn't have like a huge stat line, but every single catch he made was impactful. Like everything was either a first down, or I think his other one was like an 8 or 9 yard catch that set up second and short or third and short.
mhm.
So I mean, yeah, maybe this is his chance for him to break out if he can take advantage of Bowers not being in the lineup. But yeah, I definitely think, like you said, I think they'll be able to put up points. So I don't know. We could be in for a shootout. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's do offense first. All right. So my favorite thing about this film was his angle when the guy didn't really line up. He was too zoomed out, and then he
Yeah,
zoomed in the second half. Hilarious, but it's actually made it pretty cool.
yeah,
Look, so but we start off with a little bit with the run game here. Just looking at I mean, it's just kind of showing that it's still something that you have to worry about because I think Marion Hampton, he could take a run to the house at any point, and you just can't sleep on this.
hmm
So you see here, I mean, they do a little, you know,
counter.
counter here. You can see right here, it's just his burst is
Yeah,
just he just takes off and he runs so hard. Like there's not really not a lot of juking here. It's just kind of like what you saw from him on film, him coming out, but just the burst is crazy. So you have to worry about this. This is something that you're just not going to be able to be like, oh, hey, they're just are passing all the time because they really built the pass game off of this regardless. So if they stay effective, like they were against the Chiefs, where they're moving just getting like 5 or 4 and things like that, it has to you have to respect it, right? And they know people are going to respect it. So here
yeah.
it is, the next one here.
Little trap.
So yeah, a lot of power, a little trap here. But you just see, like I said, this is not like the biggest run it or anything, but like when you have the play action game mixed with it, it's just really effective. So
Yeah.
you get 3 or 4. He runs so hard, man. Like he this dude does not play around. Now, I mean, and then when you can slow it down a little bit, which I think, later on the Chiefs, especially in the second half, they had some times where they were slowing down the run. I'm not saying this is the first half, I still believe, but see here, they get a little outside zone this time, but And of course, Bolton just played this really well. But what a point I want to make here though is just how they're so focused on the run here, like how they're crashing immediately. This is how the play action game was set up altogether. Because
Yeah.
you have to see how these. I'm gonna show it later. They kind of do the same thing. You get like a tight end leak, and they all crash like this, and they come down and make the play. But I mean, the Chargers weren't the best at run blocking overall, though. That's what you made that point before, Matt. But like, that's a good point because I don't know if they could run the ball effectively all the time like this. But when they're timely with it and they can get some yards and stuff like that, it just sets up the play action for them. Because you're worried about it because it's Greg Roman.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing I will say too is last week the Raiders linebackers did pretty good against play action of like staying deep and not getting beat over their head. It's nice to see.
Which you're definitely not going to see that from the Chiefs this week. See, because look at these Chiefs linebackers here, right? So let this play run. They're really anticipating the run here. They're not even really playing anything else, and you kind of could see it set up everything for the passing game later. But this is another good run there. You just see how the burst, man. How quick he gets top speed. It's just, and then you got to make this tackle, and he's not the easiest tackle in the world because he's so big.
Yeah.
So you have to worry about that, and he'll beat you up a little bit. All right. So this one here, this is we're getting the play action game here, and this is when they end up doing the leak here. And like I said, you go watch these linebackers. So I'll let it run here. Mute my mic a little bit. You get the huge play downfield, right? And this is a great design because it's not the usual tight end leak that you usually see, but you're just gonna watch these linebackers. See Bolton in them, like they're way up at the line.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders can't do that. Yeah, he literally
crossed the center.
Like this is a great play design because they're so worried about like these counters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you hit him backside right there for a big play. Of course, it ends up being a fumble here. McConkey got a penalty, but All right, so here's another play action here. And this one, you're gonna see the Chiefs get kind of mixed up here on this one because you're gonna get out of the backfield, which I'll just let it run here. Let it go. All right, bring it back here. So you can see that Conklin is lined up at fullback right here. See Conklin, he's lined up at fullback right here. There's Conklin, and he's gonna be coming out of that backfield. And that play action, and you kind of get that usual kind of high-low concept out of play action, basically kind of like a flood here, right? And what it does to Bolton and to these linebackers, right? Instead of what you want this Raiders linebacker do is keep drifting. It let him check it down and come make the tackle.
Yeah.
But he goes after Hampton and then leaves it wide open behind him. And you can't. And you can even kind of see the safeties and just how the Chiefs, they're just all mixed up. The Chiefs just looked out of whack. But you just can't leave these like zones and these little tiny holes because Herbert, one, he's hitting them now. And two, he can make that throw every single time. So every single time. So here we get another play action here. So you're gonna see the Chiefs get mixed up again on this one. Let this run, and actually this time they don't bite, but then they don't get the depth because they're so like it was like they're so worried about Herbert checking down, and Herbert's not checking down anymore. So you have to just get that out of your head. And you could just tell, like you could see McDuffie, he is so worried about him throwing to I think it's Najee Harris, and he doesn't get the depth here that you want, and looking behind him, and then they hit him right behind him over their head. So like the Chiefs came out like they were playing like the old Justin Herbert, and he was just picking them apart, basically. Leaving these zones open, he's hitting them, being aggressive. All right. So here's another play action here. And this time, this one's just Lab McConkey, basically. So let this run, just work in that corner right there, that perfect route. But these are the kind of concepts you're going to get because you're going to get this over route, You're going to get a go from Quentin Johnston there, and this is typical West Coast offense that you've seen over and over, right? But when you have the run game, and you just watch Bolton again, watch Bolton here. He just he starts blitzing, but look at the linebackers, look at their level, right? And even look at 27. It just leaves everything wide open up over the field, and then McConkey just runs a great route, and it's wide open. So this play action game is really dangerous, man, because people are just biting on everything. All right, and then some of this is, like I said, it's just the Chiefs were just drunk or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the DBs did in Brazil. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. I don't know. We see these guys just run into each other, and then Tranquil doesn't even move. This is so weird because when you look at this, I'm like, man, this is really not a lot of spacing. I don't like the spacing here, right? And Tranquil just takes out that corner right there, and it just leaves Quentin Johnston wide open, and then you're getting no pressure. And like I said, Herbert is being aggressive too. He's like, because this is him kind of reading everything. He sees it, not there, and it's like he even uses eyes too to kind of shift. Keep 21 right here, because watch 21. You see how his eyes move. 21 kind of looks off, even though he's looking at Johnston.
Yeah,
and he comes right backside. So
what's crazy?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Because he knows he's going to go to Johnston here the whole time.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm going to tell you guys. And this is why a lot of these places why I just stopped watching it last night.
Yeah. What's crazy to me too is if you back that up, like I'm pretty sure he should have just hit the check down to the running back that would have scored. Like watch the back out of the backfield, like Bolton gets picked, and that's open for a touchdown, and he just takes it, but he doesn't take it.
He's like,
so
no,
you're playing him to get the check downs, and he just makes a play.
Yeah. All right, and then you got to worry about Ladd McConkey here, which I'm saying this guy messed up. But I really ended up liking this view because you're going to see, just how the Chiefs were just, I don't know what the hell they're doing half this time. So I think they end up blitzing on this one. You get a blitz here, right? And they end up picking it up. Good block from Hampton there. But you just watch what this safety does with McConkey. McConkey's gonna be running in route. He runs a great route here too, but he kind of freezes the guy. But he's like fully outside leverage. He's backpedaling, right?
Yeah.
And then McConkey just runs a great route, a little stutter step, and gets in there. Makes a great catch there. The ball's a little behind them. Doesn't matter. So the Raiders just got to be a little bit more aggressive on defense too. The Chiefs just felt like they were just kind of weak. And like, also, this I just showed this play because watch McConkey here on the outside here, and this route that he puts on. I think that's Watson over there. Just watch McConkey this route, right, and he gets wide open. But they end up missing this one, and I'm showing this because I just hope that if the Raiders play too high, this safety up here, he make him throw to Conklin.
Yeah,
with Bolton here, right? You can't be focusing on this and worried about this. You got to be worried about this guy. And maybe, this route that McConkey ran kind of confusing. Maybe thought it was going to be an in route, but like you got to worry about Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
At all times.
I'm surprised their safeties didn't work for more width. Like they played it more like cover 4.
Yeah.
But like they have kind of like a Tampa dropper with Bolton. I don't know. Weird.
It's weird. Yeah, and then you got to worry about Keenan Allen too as well. Keenan Allen's outside, so I just kind of run this here, and he's just timely at this point. He's just like a timely guy. He's a move the chains guy for sure. Like he used to be able to get deep, but you're just not really going to see that. But going from Caleb Williams back to Justin Herbert fits him perfectly. And then you can't be like Nick Bolton here, which is like it's right in front of you. You got to get better play from the Raiders linebackers because I thought the Chiefs linebackers and safeties were just awful in this game. So you watch Bolton. Bolton's like, it's right in front of you, Bolton. What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah. Caught with his eyes in the backfield.
So, all right. And then of course you got Allen here. And you are getting another blitz, but you can see how timely he is. He sees the zone. He sees it right away. He just stops him. This might not even be the route concept. He kind of just stops there and knows he sees the zone and gets open there. So you get to worry about things like this. all the time with these guys.
Yeah.
But it's also just Justin Herbert. And this play kind of, I'm just going to let this run, right? This looks like simple smash concept. He just hits over the cover two, right? Oh, that's like cool, right? Boom. Simple. But I want you to watch Herbert here, right? Okay, so he's going to see his cover two right away. So what he does is he looks at the safety, right? He holds him, right? And then you're going to see him drop his eyes here to McConkey, which holds McDuffie. And then at last second, just throw it right over the top. So this guy's different, man. I literally I went to bed after watching this because I realized that because it's the quick peek up here to hold this guy, and then it's the peek down here. It's just
he kind of like almost did the Mahomes Stafford no look pass there. You know what I mean? Like he knew where he was going to go, like you're saying, and then before he even I guess he snapped his head around, but a little bit. But like as soon as he snapped his head around, he was throwing.
And then you got to, and then this is the new element that I want to show you got to worry about is just him running, and this play ends up being a hold. But usually, you just throw it to this guy. Justin Herbert last year, you throw it to this guy, get some yards. He's like, nah. I'm Josh Allen now.
Dirty. Oh yeah.
You have to worry about this because like he could have checked this down, man. This guy's open. You can throw to Najee Harris. Harris gets a couple yards, keeps them on schedule. Nah, I'm gonna break a tackle. I'm not gonna slide.
Broke 2 tackles.
I know. And this is a consistent thing, guys. Like he did this all game. He would just take off right here, get out of the pocket, take off, get 7, 1st and 15, keep the chains moving. And then, of course, at the end of the game here, this one is just like immediately, right? And I'm going to show you something on this one. So I'm going to let this run. That's first down. But go back here a little bit. Go ahead.
I feel like he was waiting for the pressure to come on this one.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes, he just rolls out of the pocket and knows exactly where to go.
Exactly. So but that's what I mean. He's playing loose. Like he's just playing football now at this point, right? And what's funny about this one, you see 27 does not think he's going to run at all. He's just like, he's not even thinking about it. I'm going to focus on one. He is already halfway down the field, but by the time 27, like I think he could have scored if he really wanted to. Like right here, if he cuts back inside, and then cuts back outside, he could score. He could have scored.
Yeah.
So, that's basically it there. So yeah, that's the main difference of this whole offense. I could go over everything else and go over the schemes, but the main difference is that Justin Herbert is aggressive and running and then playing loose, using his eyes to manipulate things. It's like he has just a full grasp of what Romans wants him to do, but also he's playing loose.
Yeah.
So like it's like when I was watching it, I'm trying to get like very doom and gloom with it, but I'm like, man, like it's gonna be hard just to stop him at this point. Like the Raiders had to worry about stopping him more than like anything else at this point. You can't let him start running. You got to keep him in the pocket a little bit. You got to worry about that. But then if you keep him in the pocket, like it's gonna get, you can't slow rush him because if you slow rush him, he's gonna start throwing downfield. And then I didn't even show the Keenan Allen throw. The Keenan Allen dropped on the corner route. Like man. So that was the main difference of everything else. Like why the Chargers were able to kind of beat the Chiefs, and he was able to hold off Justin Herbert is because he's playing loose. And usually, like a couple years ago, the Chiefs would, they maybe 3rd, 14 might check it down. They punt. Chiefs get the ball back. He's like, nah, I'm running for a first down, right?
Yeah.
So
that's I mean, you kind of alluded to it. That's kind of what scares me about him is that if he's playing like free and loose, like he's gonna turn. He could play like one of those guys that like no matter what you do, I'm just gonna beat you. Type of deal. Like like you want to sit back and play coverage, okay, I'll pick you apart, or I'll use my legs and run. Like you want to blitz me, I'll get the ball out and do what I've done in the past and stuff like that. So if he's playing loose like that and his arm talent, like he's a guy that could end up just beating you no matter what you do, kind of deal. That's what makes him scary. Like I said, like on that one, looked like he was like waiting for the pressure to come so he could just roll out and take advantage of the man coverage. Like I was like, all right, man, this dude might not be operating another level. So hopefully that was just a 1 week thing, because that was pretty damn impressive quarterback play right there from Herbert.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's the whole thing. Like because it's not Greg Roman, it's not really the offense. That really changes. Like I'm not scared. I wasn't like nervous about the game or anything like that until I
Yeah.
saw him playing like that. I'm like, oh man, because you just have if you have to worry about his legs, that like changes a little bit of everything, right? And you know if he's playing loose and things like that, you know, I was like, man, just plug him back in. That's what I was thinking. Plug him back in. Throw that check down, man. It's right there. Throw it to Najee, man. Just get some yards.
Get this robot back under control. Reprogram him.
So somebody fix the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was watching it. But yeah, man, I think they just got to worry about stopping him. To be honest, like I feel like that's the, I can get all in depth, but you got to stop him. I mean, I don't know that's blitzing him some more and trying to make him get rid of the ball quick. That's the only way you could do that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Should we do some defense?
Yeah, let's do some defense.
All right. So like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Deion Henley. I'm going to start this over so that doesn't happen. All right. So like I said, I'm going to talk more about Deion Henley because I think he's a guy that probably don't know too much about. He kind of made an impact last season, but only his third year in the league and should be taking on a bigger role with Perryman out. One thing I wanted to start with was one of my concerns with him when he was coming out of Washington State is he's not great at getting off blocks. Like you can see here, he's going up against Noah Gray, and Khalil Mack ends up making a heck of a play to stop this run. And what I like about this from Henley is like the Chiefs are trying to get tricky where they're going to run like they're almost going to fake like the jet sweep and then just run counter underneath it with Worthy. But Henley does a pretty good job of staying home and reading his keys. Like he sees we got the pullers, the G for the GY counter. So he stays home. The problem is I almost feel like he doesn't know exactly where to fit in the run fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he goes on and takes it on this block from Noah Gray, I mean, just honestly too soft, like playing patty cake with our hands here instead of being the hammer. Mm-hmm. And then Noah Gray is going to block him and seal him. And like if Khalil Mack's not there, like I'll pause it right here. Khalil Mack's not here. Isaiah Worthy is scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that might be Loai Gilman, who I think's a good safety, but this guy ran the fastest 40 in combine history. And part of the problem is the reason why I point that out is because our linebacker is getting sealed by the tight end instead of getting over the top, or the Chargers linebacker, is getting sealed inside and not getting over the top. And then on top of it, he's not getting off the block. You'll see like Gray ends up pushing him past the sticks. It just takes a hell of a play like Khalil Mack. We'll see that rushing lane develop here from the end zone view. See, like if Mack's not there, if 76 here ends up getting that block as the puller, I mean, good luck. So just one spot. We'll see another example here. This time it's on a draw. And again, I feel like he kind of guesses and like fits the wrong gap. We'll see it a little bit better. I'll show you more from the end zone view here. Like just pre-snap. I'm not sure if maybe they had like a little bit of a line game because I think he might have, or a little run stunt here. Because it looks like the D tackle might shift into the B gap, but either way, Henley's supposed to be in this A gap or this B gap, and he's going to kind of fit on the other side of Humphrey and end up getting sealed. Like you'll see right there again, big rushing lane. I think that's Pacheco this time to run through, and on top of it, he just has a hard time getting off the block. He ends up making the tackle in this one, but I mean, 10 yards down the field, and I mean this is a plus block for Humphrey, a minus for Henley. Also, I love that Pacheco had a lane and just decides to run into contact. Just to let you know how that guy's built, how he's wired. But that's what it is. That being said, he did make a few nice plays against the run here. Like I was talking about him struggling to take on blocks. This one's actually a pretty good rep here against this little like counter look. And the Chiefs, I mean, they basically have three pullers here. They pull, I don't know, I can't remember who 83 is, but he basically pulls or he gets a motion and then pulls, and then they're going to leave the tight end and the guard for a little counter action. And Henley does a pretty damn good job. Long trap, actually, it looks like. And he does a pretty good job, Henley, of this time being a lot more physical. Like I think against gap runs, when he sees pullers to his side, I think he'll be a little bit more aggressive. He does a good job of being physical, good pad level, and he ends up stuffing Gray this time in the hole, and that frees up, I believe, it's Tyre Tart to go make this tackle. See an even better view of it from the end zone. Like, boom. Like you can see, like Henley's not going to get credit for the play here, but he makes this happen because he helps like plug up this hole on top of. Again, I think that's Tart. Tart does a pretty damn good job against Troy Smith of beating them inside and making play here. The other way he kind of wins is with his athleticism as a run defender. Like we'll see it on the end zone view here. This is Troy Dye.
Yeah.
So he's in the game because Perryman's injured. Like you'll see, Dye's going to end up getting sealed. And Pacheco does a good job of seeing it. So he's going to hit this gap. And if we back up and pay attention to Henley right here, like Henley does a great job. He reads his keys. He's going to start flowing with the play. But he has the athleticism to stick his foot in the ground and then end up going to make that tackle. Now, the Chiefs get 6 out of this, but this is at least a first down with this lane that Pacheco has because Dye gets sealed inside. What saves it from being an explosive play is Henley just being a friggin' athlete.
Yeah.
Sticking that outside foot in the ground. I mean, he covered 2 gaps laterally. Like, by the time he starts cutting back, he's all the way outside the tackle, and he ends up making the play on the inside of the guard in the A gap.
Yeah.
So, and then 2, I think they might have had a blitz on this one because if we look at it, looks like our two eyes going to slant into the B gap, and he just kind of shoots into the A gap here. Like you can see an example of how his speed can be an impact against the run. Like Humphrey's going to initially eye up the safety, and once he sees the safety comes deep, now he tries to come get the linebacker, tries to come get Henley. But with his speed and this play call from the Chargers defense from Jesse Minter, who likes to bring the heat a lot, he ends up getting beat. A nice little move here too to avoid that contact with Humphrey. You see a little shoulder dip, ends up getting the TFL.
That's the athleticism right there.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the former wide receiver in him. And then, as you can imagine, again, a former wide receiver, pretty damn good in coverage. You know, Marcus, I think when we did the Chiefs preview in the summer, you pointed out like how Mahomes and Kelsey were just money on these scramble drills last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was pretty damn good against Kelsey. Was pretty good against him last season too when they played the Chiefs. Was pretty even in man coverage. Like they'll trust him to cover tight end, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's on Mayer in the game. Like you'll just see just a great job plastering. Like you know who Holmes wants to go through in this situation, but he can't. And then Mahomes, like his security blanket's not there. Now he's trying to pump fake. It gets kind of all tied up, and they end up getting him down for a 4-yard gain. Usually, that's where that guy kills you. That's where those two specifically kill you. This is actually going back to last season against the Chiefs. But Henley's got some pretty damn good ball skills. And this, to me, like what I loved about this play from him is this is a perfect way to defend the option route. I'm not 100% sure that Pacheco's running the option route here. I think he is, though. Mm-hmm. What I like about this is like you'll see Henley, he's in man coverage against the running back. He's initially going to widen, and then he stops like right here. And like, okay, if this is a choice route from the receiver, let's make that, or the running back where he can go inside or outside. Let's make that decision for him by taking away the inside. So, okay, you want to go inside? Well, you got to run through me. And you're going to see Pacheco obviously breaks to the outside there. And because I know where he's going, and on top of it, he has good movement skills, he can go make a play on the ball and play the hands at the catch point to get a PBU. I think he had 6 PBUs last year, according to PFF. So,
that's where the athleticism comes in because he's playing. He moves like a safety.
Exactly. Yeah. He built a little bit more like one. He's still kind of lighter, but like you'll see what I was talking about here on that playing that option route. Like he just pulls up, basically like once he gets about inside, about level with Pacheco's inside shoulder there, just kind of breaks down, takes that away.
Yeah,
go make a play on the ball. This next one I'll say is a gift from Justin Herbert where Herbert just forces the throw. What I like about
you mean Justin Fields? It's Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. My bad. Not Justin Herbert. Justin Fields. Got my Justins mixed up. But yeah, this is the Justin Fields special. Let me back this up. Just throw it, even though the guy's not open. But what I like about this from Henley is watch his eyes. Like you're just gonna see, like they're running. I believe this is cover 2 look, maybe cover 4 from the Chargers. Is he's gonna open. He's gonna see Cordell Patterson running the crow route here. But once he recognizes the route, now he gets his eyes back to the quarterback, finds the ball in the air, and ends up making a play on it. And they end up getting the pick. Bud Dupree gets a little revenge against the Steelers, get that interception. But like you can see his eyes here too. Like Good example, like post snap, let's find the guy, see what's going on. Okay, now I know what the route is. Get my ass back to the quarterback, and then just make a play when quarterback gives us the opportunity.
That's nice, man. Yeah, he's pretty damn good in coverage.
Yeah. Close your eyes if you're an Aiden O'Connell fan. Yeah, this one last year against the Raiders, I think another cover 4 look. I like this too. Again, pass off Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer's going deep, pass him off to the safety. Now I get my eyes back and see the check down. What I like is he flows to the check down, but he still stays deep where like he's going to discourage O'Connell to hit Mayer in this seam.
Yeah.
And then this like little void between the second and third levels. And then once the ball's out, now we converge on it. And again, just take advantage of the opportunity the cornerback gives you. You see that former wide receiver background come into play because that was a nice catch for a backer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a great catch, but I'm just watching this I don't know. Yeah. O'Connell's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think I remember you breaking this down. I don't know, maybe we didn't, but like I think very clearly he expected Amir Abdullah to keep running on the out.
Yeah.
But Abdullah's right here. Abdullah should sit in there, and then again, Henley just makes an adjustment to the ball, partially because he's a good athlete and has the hands to come away with the pick.
Yeah.
Last clip here. I don't know how much the Chargers are going to do this against Geno, just because he's not quite the runner that Mahomes is. But Geno, especially if they can get pressure on him early, as we know, like will start to not trust the offensive line and scramble a little bit. So I could see this being a part of the game plan because Minter loves to do this where like he'll put a linebacker on the line of scrimmage. He'll do the double mug look too where he has like 6 guys on the line.
Yeah.
And then he'll only have 2 or 3 guys truly rush and put one on a spy to influence the protection. If you notice on this rep specifically, I mean, they got the chip block against Khalil Mack here with Travis Kelce, which defensively that's a win for us because that means your best receivers not running a route off the snap.
Yep.
But either way, like we get the one-on-ones on the outside. Bud Dupree does his job to flush Mahomes out of the pocket. And then again, Henley with his athleticism is able to match Mahomes and he ends up getting an 8-yard sack here. So this is perfect spy technique. And they did this a lot with them last season. So I imagine we'll probably see this come up a little bit on Monday night. I just don't know if it's going to be as prevalent as it was when they're not playing a guy like Mahomes.
That's a great defensive concept. But I guess the chip from Kelce, because you see Derwin James kind of like double team the initial route concept and then trade off to Kelce. That's great scheming. Right there.
Yeah, Minter's a hell of a DC. Like you said, like it's almost like he knew they were going to get the chip. Because, like you said, like you can't get away with this if Travis Kelce just releases into the route. So Minter is a pretty damn good play caller defensively. So even though it's his second year in the league. But yeah, that's just one guy I wanted to highlight because again, someone who's kind of like a lesser known player, but pretty damn good, and I think he'll have an impact one way or another in the game. Without Denzel Perryman, he becomes their top linebacker, probably wearing the green dot and all that stuff. So, he's a pretty good player in both phases. But I do think if you can kind of get a hat on him, you can take him out in the running game and whatnot. But he can be an issue for sure. It was an issue for him last year when O'Connell just gift wrapped that pick to him.
Yeah, and I think the kind of the focus. I mean, you could just tell that this team is really good at stopping the pass. I mean, you can just tell how the way that they move and their scheme, and they have smart players out there, and you got Derwin James that can move around a little bit, and you got Henley who can cover. You're good at stopping the pass. I mean, the focus has to be able to run the ball on these guys. So, I mean, that's kind of what I figured out. I mean, yeah, Henley has some good run plays, but there's also times where if you get somebody up on him. You can move them a little bit. The Chiefs just aren't built to run like that and have that focus. So I think if the Raiders go into the game with that game plan, and if it doesn't work, then it is what it is. But that's when you look at this defense, you feel like you got to try to run the ball on these guys a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, Tartt's a decent player, but I think he's probably their best defensive tackle. So I think if you can kind of take care of him, like I think you can have some success in the running game, especially with Perryman out because Troy Dye's not a great run defending linebacker, and if you're going to take your chances against Henley, you're going to take your chances in the running game for sure.
Yeah, dude. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the preview for Raiders versus Chargers. Of course, we'll be Monday night. We'll be up late with you guys. This is a 7 o'clock game, man. It's a late game.
I know. It's brutal.
Yeah, right. So we'll be up at 10 o'clock with you guys doing instant reaction. Hopefully, we'll be able to go to sleep good, and the Raiders go perform and find a way to pull this one out. But like I said, guys, hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Check out the links for the homage shirt as well. I put this back up here. Homage, boom, boom, boom. Panda subs as well. Go ahead, check that out. Make sure you guys hit those. And then I'm gonna be doing some more membership stuff this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. We got the game Monday night, so we'll see you guys on the instant reaction. Peace.
Peace.